Hello everyone, welcome to this video.
Hi, it's a little bit dark in here because my curtains aren't open, but, well, one of them is, but the rest are not. The boys are messing with stuff in their school cabinet making music today, so sorry about that. But we have had a couple of eventful days this week. There was a huge snowstorm that started on Monday and it finished up yesterday, which was Wednesday. It was pretty much totally fine if you had all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, but if you didn't, then it was a little bit rocky. My husband drove his four-wheel drive on his car to and from work every day and was fine. But I drove to play practice Monday night and it was rough. I could go like 50 on a 65 highway just fine, but lots of cars were going like 25. So there was some passing involved, which is just not safe in the snow. That's not safe, it's just not ideal. I got to play practice just fine, but it was later than I had intended, and I still did, I had to do hair for people. It was fine, but it was also just not ideal. We went through the show, everything was fine. I drove home at like 11. They canceled practice on Tuesday because it kept snowing all day on Tuesday. We ended up staying home and I had Gregory because again, it stopped by like dinner time-ish. Maybe just after that, like 6 or 7. Gregory has all-wheel drive, his car was fine, he had to go to work, come home from work. I was like, go out and do something for yourself because you haven't been out in a while and you've been home with the kids every night for the past like 2 weeks, pretty much by yourself because I've been really busy between the gym, trying to fit that in before Christmas, and the show and everything like that, and then the birthday party that we had, and then I ended up babysitting after the birthday party. So I was like, I just want to make sure you get some time. So he went out and he had some time, which was really great for him. Came back, brought me Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was like, amazing. Then Wednesday, which was yesterday, there was, practice was up in the air. It was one of those, questionable days, but we had been trying for a couple of weeks to figure out when we were going to take Azariah to the movie theater. Because when the boys turn 3, we take them to their first movie theater movie. We honestly haven't been back for Gabriel since he turned 3. We also stopped really doing any kind of TV shortly before that, but because it was kind of like one of those this is a fun experience moment and not ideal, but still something fun that you can enjoy as you get older more than younger. We did it for him. We did it again for Azariah. He honestly did a really good job. Has been doing pretty well since then. But we went to do that. Well, it snowed again yesterday, a lot, and it was heavy snow. We had to drive again with our four-wheel drive car to the movie theater and back, which was fine. Everything was fine. However, yesterday morning, when we woke up, we had no water. Not no hot water or our water pressure was low. No water. Not leaking water, not frozen pipes, thank God. I'm honestly not complaining about what the issue was, but it was just weird. We just had no water. We tried a bunch of things. I was like, well, the reservoir isn't set to refill until 9 a.m. And we couldn't get a well guy out here because we talked to our plumber and he was like, if there's no leaks, it's not the pipes outside. It's not a plumber thing. It's a well guy thing. So he sent us the contact info for his well guy, the guy that he works with directly. And while we were waiting for him to, have a chance to get back to us and respond and kind of figure out what to do, I was like, well, maybe the reservoir just needs to be refilled because it's set on our pump for 9 a.m. So maybe it's that. It was not that. I checked the pump at 9 a.m. It was not that. Guy showed up at 9:30, 9:45-ish. They were done by 10:15. There was some switch that was broken. Changed it right out. No idea how much it cost because he was like, I'll just send you an invoice. And he just hasn't yet. It's a smaller business, whatever. We work with, again, the plumber that he works with directly, so he knows that we're going to pay him whenever we get our invoice. So still waiting to see how much that was, but it was so thank the Lord that worked out. And we had water again by 10:30. It was a crazy start to the day, but fine. Well, after that, it started snowing more. I had the dogs out in the kennels because I didn't want them to get in the way of the people with the well, just because I didn't know what they were going to need to do. And I wanted them to be able to move as quickly and efficiently as possible because I knew that we were more like an emergency call that day. I went shoveled out the garage a little bit and it's snowing pretty heavily, and I'm like, oh man, this driveway is gonna be something. And I tell Gregory about it. He's having a crazy day, obviously, because he's getting everything figured out with the well guy, and he's working and all that kind of stuff. He just didn't like compute it. And the day before, I had asked him if he was gonna plan on plowing the driveway this year, because we've had a lot of snow so far. And he was like, yep, I'm gonna pack it down tonight, and then I'm gonna put the plow on and, plow the next time it needs to be plowed. Well, he didn't do that. He didn't end up having the same time he thought he was gonna have. I don't know exactly what his plan was, but he had some kind of plan and it just didn't pan out. And so my brother, in the morning, he had an appointment before work. On his way to his appointment, got stuck in the snow at the end of the driveway, but that was from the plow the night before. Well, we live on a highway, so there are a lot of plows. They come through in the middle of the night very frequently, whereas like in a neighborhood, they're less likely to come through in the middle of the night because, again, they're worried about the main highways for travel for work in the morning. And then they usually do neighborhoods in like the afternoon. So it's a bit different, but because we live on a highway, they did it in the middle of the night. No one really thought about it, and again, my husband has four-wheel drive. My brother has a tiny car with not four-wheel drive and had to shovel his way out in the morning. I didn't even know he was out there, otherwise I would have gone to help him. It was fine, things were happening, but it had been snowing. So he got home, got stuck in the driveway immediately again, and then kept like getting out and then like getting stuck again because the snow was higher than the bottom of his car. And again, he doesn't have four-wheel drive, so he couldn't like push through it. So my husband got home, was trying to help him out. We had to leave. I had also made dinner for a friend of mine because her mom had just gone through surgery and he's taking care of her. And she was like, I just don't have time. She's just coming home from the hospital today. It would be really helpful. And I had agreed a couple days ago to get her some meals. And so I made her dinner, and it was just like a crazy back and forth. Because my brother was supposed to deliver the meal after I figured out that we wouldn't have time because we were going to this movie. Well, he's stuck in the driveway. Gregory takes his car with his four-wheel drive and just drives through this foot of snow around his car in our yard, back out onto the driveway, and just gets out just fine. And I was like, this is crazy, the difference between all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive. Like, that's insane. So my mom came to help deliver that so that I could fulfill my obligations that I didn't think was going to be a problem because I had this whole plan in my head, but then the snow happened. I'm glad it worked out the way that it did, but it was a crazy couple of days. Today, like I said, is Thursday, so tonight I'm going to play practice, and then we have shows all weekend. So besides tomorrow, when my mom and I and my brother are making meals for that same friend, we'll be basically spending tomorrow during the day doing that, and then I have a show in the evening, and I have 2 shows on Saturday, and then I have a show on Sunday as soon as church is done. And then I'm done with the shows, which is great, but then the whole next week I'm going to the gym pretty much every day. We have like our first Christmases the following weekend, so like not this weekend over the shows, but the following weekend. And it's just gonna be so much, which is fine. It's the holidays and everything, and going to the gym isn't like an inconvenience. It's just I'm gonna be gone for a little bit. Normally after the gym, because I usually only go twice a week, maybe 3 times if I need to, because of the timing of how like my classes work out, then I'll stay in town and like work on some stuff in quiet in a great space. It's been a really awesome routine, but this time I'm just gonna like come home unless I actually have something I need to work on so that I can still be home for like bedtime and everything. It's gonna be fun, but pretty much every day leading up to Christmas during the week, with the exception of the 19th, I'm going to the gym. I'm honestly really excited about the amount of consistency I'm gonna be able to do though. So that's kind of like a rundown what the past couple of days have been. Overview of what we're looking at coming up. With the shows, I'm not going to be able to like film anything. I am also working on some presents that I'm making because of course I'm crafting a few things this year. Of course I am. So I am going to bring those with me because I guess yesterday when I wasn't there, because they added that practice that I wasn't at, the lead costumer, who was a friend of mine, she was like, you know what? We're just gonna make it so that we don't have to be the person to do every single change. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the plan. So we will have some downtime, and she also wants us to have the opportunity to like see the show in person and like actually watch it, which is cool. Really awesome that she's being extra thoughtful of that. And if we get to, that'll be great. But otherwise, we have more downtime, and we already had a decent amount of downtime. I think we have like 2 quick changes in Act 1. 2 quick changes in Act 1. The rest are all in Act 2.
So tons of Act 1 downtime because Act 1 is longer. Anyone who's in theater knows that's just kind of like a standard thing. And then we have extra time. So I'm bringing my craft projects to work on in the meantime because they're like fairly easily contained. I can kind of sit wherever, and I'm helping with hair and stuff too periodically. I think it'll be a really good balance. I'll be able to accomplish stuff while I'm doing this thing that is taking me out of my home for a long time, which I'm enjoying it. I always love theater, but I'm not used to not being on stage so much, like in such it's a small role, right? It's a costume crew, but it's been good. It's been nice. So anyway, that's where we're going. I am kind of showing you some things that I talked about how busy this week is going to be and everything. I was talking about these bins. I swapped them out for new bins, but look at this crazy kid. Anyway, so the boys' room is pretty much set up how it's going to be. Once these two bins get in the dresser, I want to put this basket on there. That's at least my thought, because right now they have that basket down there, which we could move up here and then have a little bit more space, which maybe that's preferred, but otherwise I think there's plenty of space for the bigger white basket, and since there's 3 of them in here, the bigger basket, it just holds more, right? It makes more sense, but we'll see. The dresser that's out here needs to go. It has like a shelf area that's fine, but the drawers are so crappy, and we picked it up from like Facebook Marketplace for honestly way too much. It was not worth that, but we needed it at the time, and it was cheaper than going to get something new, so we rolled with it, but now we need to get rid of it. So that is on the agenda for Gregory to get out into the garage / shop hopefully tonight, but we'll see because I won't be here, so he has no one. Well, not that he has no one to watch the kids, but I don't know when my brothers are gonna be home / what their plan is for the day. Once that's done, I think my hallway will be much cleaner. I'm also getting rid of this. We have this like pad. It's like a changing table pad. I've never used it because babies like slip on it and it's cold. I don't even know why I have it anymore. I have this like idea that like, oh yeah, I'll use it, and I never do. So I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. And then eventually, when this room is the nursery, I wanna put my Moses basket right there and have the laundry basket elsewhere. Anyway, that is not the primary point of this. I need to get a few other things done today, and I don't know what. It's like 10 o'clock, so the boys are gonna need a snack within like 30 minutes, but Gabriel really wants to paint too. So we're trying to get this cleaned up and put away. So Gabriel and I are gonna get this taken care of so he can paint. Then after it's taken care of, I'll get the paint set up and snack. So let's do that. I was up way too late last night, but this is the box that didn't get delivered until I think after I left. So I couldn't do this last night. These kids were sleeping, long sleeping since I got home. So I'm gonna open it up. So the baskets are down here. Put this up here. Technically, one of these is supposed to hold diapers. So I might add this up here. I have to move some stuff. The only thing that didn't fit were those undies because they have a lot of folded clothes. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just put them in their own bin and add them down there so there are 2 bins. I don't know. None of this really worked out how I wanted, but it's okay. It's temporary.
Love, Genevieve.